She was one of my first clients. Hello and welcome again. So let's first talk about properties. This is my favorite little thing because this actually looks like a fascia cell. Like scaffolding is pretty cool, right? But it's really like so tiny that they couldn't even see it in a microscope until maybe 10 years ago. And that it's pretty amazing. And this is what it looks like. So this scaffolding is everywhere and it wraps around muscles, bones, any cell that's in our body is covered with this. And it is a very unique. So within this is, again, even microcells compared, and these cells, and they all are very different. So even in the fascial conference that they do once a year, they're finding that as technology improves and that they can see them, they are getting down to the nitty-gritty cells, and they're finding that these are brand new cells that they didn't even know. So that's like still like new, brand new science that they are really don't even know that much about. It's kind of cool. But look at how it springs and moves. And this is exactly how it moves in our body. So it's very elastic and it creates a lot of elasticity. So we need to bounce. We do bouncy stuff, right? We want to bounce. So to get back our elasticity, we bounce. We do a lot of bouncy stuff. And you want to do that. And it brings back the fluid because this is like fluid. And if you could think of this fluid, like this gelatinous movement kind of going through, that's what it does. And this little toy actually looks so much like it. You can look it up on YouTube and it's really cool when you see it live on YouTube. It looks just like this.
What happens as you get older? Is that fluid not there?
It starts to dry out. So that's a great question that I was going to say next. So as you get older, you start to dry out, but as you sleep. So every night when you go to sleep, this shrinks. It's like shrink wrap because it wraps around everything. And then you get this shrink wrap that happens when you sleep because you get dehydrated and you don't move. So every morning starts the cycle again. You got to wake up, you have to move, and you have to rehydrate. So it is very important. We are fluid beings. We move with fluid. Okay, like I said, I was going to be pretty quick about that. So my lovely Joanne here said she would be my model. So hop on up. So I said that this fascia, come right up onto my mat. So I said that this fascia creates lines. So this fascia encompasses everything, but what they had found was that this fascia actually creates these lines. And I'll start in your back. That's less embarrassing, right? If I start at your back. There are 12 fascia lines in the body. So I'll have you hold it. So the back fascia line starts at your eyebrow. You're going to hold it right there. You can't see her eyebrow, but it's starting right at her eyebrow. And what this does is it holds together like a chain. So some people call it a chain. Some people call it a line. I like chain because think of it as a muscle. They're all linked together in this chain. So this is your back chain and it goes, one on each side. So you got one on this side of the spine, one on this side of the spine, and you have all these muscles together. These therabands are dusty. I keep getting black all over me. And then it comes to your hip and then it goes down your leg all the way down and it'll go to the bottom of your feet. I'm going to lift up your foot for me. And I'm just going to place on her foot, but it goes all the way along the plantar surface and you can step down. Okay. So if I were to bring it in, it actually does come out a little bit like that. But in there are all your muscles. So these muscles, if you think about it, so if this muscle is tight, what does it do? It pulls just like this TheraBand and it yanks that whole side of you just because you got a knot in your shoulder. Okay. So it affects the whole body. Just that knot in your shoulder. You might feel it down in your foot and it has nothing to do with your foot. It's the knot in your shoulder. Does that make sense? And that's why they're so important and why fascia is so important because it's about the wholeness of our body, not the separate parts. So that's the back fascia line. Okay. That's the superficial line. It's a postural line. It holds us up. Okay. So if you flip it around, turn yourself around. Does the same thing in the front, but the front line comes up the front. I'm just gonna tap it under her toes. It comes up the front. And this one is only gonna come up right here. Okay, so that's your front fascial line. Like I said, we're gonna do a yoga practice. We're gonna cover each one of these. So these are the normal two big front. So your forward fold, any kind of your back bends, they're gonna get those. Our spiral line, one of my favorites because it really twists around. So I'm gonna give this to Joanne. She's gonna hold it at her neck. Okay, so I'll turn around, I'm gonna show you. It's gonna start at the neck and I'm gonna maybe twist just for a second. It goes from one side of the neck, it goes through the shoulder blade. Okay, keep twisting. Yep. Really confusing, right? It comes around, that's why it's called the spiral line, but then it just comes down the leg. Okay, but it's really spiraling around and holding us together. And then you have the opposite on the other side. Okay, you have arm lines, two in the front, two in the back, okay? So if you just take your arm out, you have one that runs from your neck out to your thumb. And then the other one actually goes from your pec out to the rest of your fingers. That's the front functional lines. And then you have the back and the same thing, neck out. And then this back one, it's the shoulder blade, but actually this one is like a spider web and it comes all the way down. So you could have a pain here. And again, you feel it all the way in your fingertips because that fascia is pulling you back. And think of the postural distortions, you know, it can cause from the pulling. Sorry, Joanne, I made you all dusty. Okay. So also think about, you've got all these verging together. So they talk about all these big places where they all come together. Skull, here at your back, mid back, low back, ankles, and the bottom of the feet. They're big crossing points. So, and I think most of you probably agree with me. Yeah, that's where I have most of my pain. Probably here, here, here. Those are the big ones. That's where they usually are because all these fascial lines cross here. Okay. So since she's turned around, we're going to go to this back deep line. So it comes from under the armpit. So these spiraling lines here, okay, these are deep functional lines and they help us to like throw balls, to swing, to move. And it's going to come around. And this comes to the outside of your knee. Okay, and if you spin around, you can leave it right there at your armpit because the front functional line does the same thing. It comes around, but this one goes to the inner knee. That's kind of what it looks like. All right. And then one more line. That's it. And we'll get on to our practice. It's called the ipsilateral line. So it goes from your armpit, stays on the same side, and it comes to the knee. Oh, actually, no, we do. I saved the best one for last. You know what it is, Joanne? Knee. We just did it today in class. Okay. So this ipsilateral line, again, gives us posture. Bless you. So it comes from the out to in to hold our legs into place. Last one of my favorites, and that's why I saved it for last, is the deep core line, which is actually the hardest to explain because you need to like cut somebody into two. So it's like about impossible to show you because it's deep. It is really on the inside of our spine. So for those of you that know a little bit of anatomy, it's where your psoas lies, your quadratus lumborum, and all your organs. So let me see, you come back forward. You're going to lift up. So it starts here around the arch of the foot, comes up your inner thigh. You can hold it. Pelvic floor, okay? This is your pelvic floor. And I can't even show you because it's your whole abdominal cavity. Like I couldn't even show you because it's everything. It's your diaphragm. It connects your psoas with your quadratus lumborum and your diaphragm and all of the chest, and it's deep. So this is all of your deep fascia. That's why most people call it the deep coral line. They also call it the central vessel line, okay? And it's deep. So you have all these lines. And again, if one pulls, it's going to pull you down. It's going to contort you. You're going to look. So that one muscle can throw your entire posture off. So that's why it's so important to treat your body as a whole unit rather than just a piece or a part, even though that one muscle does need to be treated. It really is important to get that one muscle to release, and it could release that whole line. So it's pretty fascinating. And one of the greatest things was my teachers way back 30 years ago were huge proponents of yoga. That was one of their biggest things was just do yoga. You'll be fine, but do it balanced. Make sure that you do it balanced. Thank you, Joanne. And I wanted to kind of go through that quickly. I wanted to give you a little idea without boring you. And we'll do a full practice so we get each of these lines. And I do a lot of creative yoga poses. I take yoga poses and I make them work for some of this stuff. So it's kind of what we are going to do a little bit, because like say ipsilateral line doesn't really go with any of the yoga poses. So we're going to make one up. But that's what we're going to do. Okay. Hold on just a second. Stop this and start again. Okay, you guys can lay down. I'm going to put your lights down. We're going to start on our back just for a couple poses, and then we'll be going up. I'm taking that light out of your eyes. So the first thing I want you to do, even if you're not laying down, you could sit against the wall if you want. You're right next to it, huh? Okay, close your eyes. So the first thing we're going to do before we do any poses, and I like to use the floor here, is I want you to begin to know where you are right now. What's your body like right now? Do you notice any imbalances in your body? Side to side, front to back? What's your body like right at this moment? And there's no right or wrong. This is all just about awareness. And you might notice that tight muscle or that tight area kind of pulling you to the side. I have a lot of them. It's like, it seems like, oh yeah, I can feel that my rib cage is pulling on one side, or my shoulders down one, the other side, my neck. Just notice those things. And we're going to do this again in standing when we come up to standing. And take a deep breath in. Let it go. And one more deep breath in. Let it go. And before we begin to move, set an intention. What would you like to receive from showing up tonight? Is it that you just came to learn? Are you having aches and pains in your body that you would like to feel better? There's no right or wrong intention. What's your intention? And seal that intention with a breath. Inhale. Exhale. Bend your knees, bring your feet flat to the floor if they're not already. Bring your right knee into your chest, hugging it in. So this is a simple way right here to stretch that back fascial line. So this is one of the most gentle. This is not really what my intention was, but I wanted you just to have an idea of like, oh, I can do something so simple. You can do one knee, you can do both. So you can pick that left knee up, draw it in, rock side to side, circle. Bring the body to stillness. Those knees a little hug in. Set your left foot back down and stretch that leg out. It doesn't have to be completely straight. Just let it be relaxed. We're going to focus on this right side. So let your right knee fall out to the right. Okay. So this is that functional front line. Like I said, for tonight, we're just going to focus on plain old yoga poses. Normally, when we do a myofascial release, we add a whole bunch more stuff to it. You can think about it. This is that strap that goes from your armpit down to your inner knee, and you can hold on to it. You can set the foot down, let the knee out, whatever you choose. Take a nice deep breath in. Let it go. Excellent. Draw that knee back up towards the ceiling. Draw the knee into the chest. Give it a hug. Knee to chest pose. Keep your left hand on your right knee. Let the right arm fall out to the right, away from the body. And then draw the right knee across the body, twisting from the spine, coming into a full spinal twist. So now into that back functional line, which again goes from the armpit and across. Nice deep breath in. And let it go. No yanking or pulling, just soften. So this part of your fascia is the part that lengthens. So it can be trained for new length. Slowly roll onto your back. Draw that right knee back into the chest. Adjust your pelvis, your hips, and your spine. And set that right foot down. We're going to switch legs. Draw that left knee into the chest. Give it a hug. Okay, we're going to start with letting that knee fall out to the side. I like to call this fallen tree. So we're doing tree pose without the balance, just letting it fall out. And I want you to find a nice relaxing place that you can ease into this. Take a nice deep breath in. Let it go. And bring that knee into the chest. Right hand to the left knee. And then draw that knee across the body, going into that spinal twist. Again, breathe, nice deep breath, trying to soften. And roll onto your back and draw that left knee in, adjust your hips and spine. And then set both feet down, knees bent, feet flat to the floor. Roll to your favorite side. And slowly come up to sit. We're going to only sit for the briefest of seconds here. Take your legs and extend them out in front of you. Do one thing. So the one fascial thing I am going to teach you tonight, without having to teach all the pushing and the pulling and all that good stuff, is fascial roll-ups and roll-downs, okay? So you can do it seated, you can do it standing. We're going to do it both. We're going to do it here as our transition, and then we're going to go up to standing. You do not need to sit on anything because we are not hinging from the hips. This is not a forward fold, okay? This is for your back fascial line. Let your arms be down. First thing it starts with is a chin nod. I told you it goes from your eyebrows all the way back. So you just let your head drop. Your head should be heavy. Let the head drop. Allow the neck to soften. The weight of the head does the stretch. And then let it continue. Let your shoulders roll forward. Let that space come between your shoulder blades. And you are rounded here. So this is like the bad posture. But this bad posture actually lets everything soften. So again, you're not hinging from the hips. We will get into the rest of the legs when we go into standing. We're just focusing on the neck and the upper back here. And this helps us isolate this core for the roll up. So you need to use your superficial front line to roll up. So I like to think of it as a zipper. You've got these tight jeans on and you need to zip them up. So zip up the front, roll yourself up to come back up to sit and lengthen through the top of your head. Roll your shoulder blades back and relax. Okay, take a deep breath in. Let it go. Okay. And I know you're all going to want to swing those legs around so that you can stand up to look at me. So let's come around, swing your legs around behind you to come to hands and knees. And I'm just going to come this way for just a moment here. Actually, no, you'll be able to see. Okay. I'm going to go into little fascia cat and cow here. Push your hands and your knees away from each other. So we use the grip of the floor, and we are going to use the grip of the floor. So we will push and pull with the floor. So press your knees and your hands away from each other. When you learn how to activate and use the floor, it's going to make a huge difference in your yoga practice. Curl your tailbone down towards the floor. Engage your abdominal muscles. Push your spine up towards the sky. Let the top of your head drop down. So your hands and your knees are pushing away from each other, and your spine is rounding up towards the sky in cat. And now you let everything go and you begin to sag down. Your belly drops down and you're pulling back, and it's such a slight engagement. Imagine your chest is pressing through, your breastbone is pressing through your arms. Your belly's just saggy. Don't jam your neck back. Think about your spine lengthening through the top of your head. And then again, press the hands and the knees away, curl the tailbone under, engage those abdominal muscles, push your spine, your chest up to the sky, allow your head to relax and drop down. So again, this is that front and back line. Allow the belly to drop and that breastbone to go forward, tailbone goes up, lengthen through the top of your head. And go ahead on your own, back and forth. So you can feel that pushing and that pulling with your hands and your knees. It's ever so slight. Fingers, the hands, they're nice and energetic on your mat. And somewhere in there, find a nice neutral spine. Curl your toes under behind you. And walk your hands back. And as you do, bring yourself back onto your feet. We're going to bring yourself up, get your feet, just like I just did. I readjusted, except I'll come forward here. Get yourself readjusted. We're going to do the roll up right from here. So knees are nice and soft. You can bring your hands right to your knees. It's going to help you roll up. Tailbone is going to curl forward. So if I turn to the side, you can see I'm curling my tailbone under, pull my belly button into the spine. Let that head drop down and then slowly roll up. So if you need help, you can walk your hands right up your legs and bring yourself up. So we try to do that one vertebra at a time, but if your back is stiff, it's just about impossible for somebody because they're like, why doesn't my spine do that? I'm like, because you're too stiff. You got to keep doing it. And also for some back conditions, it doesn't feel so hot. Don't do it if it hurts. Don't do it. Keep your spine flat and take it up and come up nice and straight. Okay. Not everybody's back is going to feel good with it. There's other things you can do. So maybe you can just go down, maybe you can just go up. There's going to be these variations. Don't do anything that causes you pain. That's your body saying, I should not do that. Okay. It's a pretty easy message. It's loud and clear. All right. So we rolled up. We're going to do a couple more of those. Okay. We didn't get all the way up into neck and everything. So first thing, I said we're going to talk about these feet and energizing these feet. So feet go into the mat and they kind of press out here in mountain pose. So here's me not, that kind of like, and here's me engaged. they kind of moved out. Did you guys see that? Okay, I flopped. I'm out. So my ankles aren't rolling out. That's not where it's coming from. It's coming all the way up. They're coming out. So now I'm nice and straight. I'm a knee locker and a knee dropper. So when I don't engage, I'm like floppy. You know, I like to lock, I like to do these things. So I have to be super mindful of it, super, because I like to do it myself. So if you pull out, that's number one. The other thing I love to do is get you to lift your toes and spread them, to spread those bones, because we're cramped into shoes all day long and people can't move their toes. It's terrible. And then just let them down so that your feet are spread. Now your legs are active, they're engaged. Are you in balance? And then your pelvis, so important. Is it tipping forward or back? Find that neutral. So there should be a natural curve, okay? But it shouldn't be too far forward and too far back. So I had you curl your tailbone before. That is that posterior. That's make your back flat. You don't want that. You want to be in the middle. And again, I'm an anterior tipper. So I got to come into the middle, and that softens my knees automatically. Okay, so I lock my knees because of my pelvis. So as soon as I bring my pelvis into neutral, my knees aren't locked. But I have to think about it because I've done it. I did it for so many years before I tried to correct it. So now I'm trying to retrain my nerves. Okay. So like I tell you all the time, it's not just you. I do it too. It's called I go back to work. I come in here and I do it correctly, and then I go back to work just like everybody else. So now it's this rib cage thing too. Okay, I showed you, you got all these lines pulling you and twisting you. So you want to think about your rib cage. Is this straight? And the best thing to do is look in the mirror and look at your rib cage, because there are days I'll look and I can see how bad that I'm tilted in the rib cage, and I have to fix it. It's terrible. Some days it's horrible. And again, that could just be you do everything with one hand and it easily makes you twist. Shoulders. And lastly, this lovely neck. But you will find when you get here to lift up and you get sternum over top of pelvis, your head lifts up a lot. And you don't have to do so much of this, because this lifted your head and got you parallel with the floor. And it might just be a small shift back, because we don't want to look like military men either. We want to be relaxed. Okay. Our bones hold us, and then the muscles can relax, and we're nice and comfortable. Okay. So let's reach our arms up to the sky. And now we're going to stretch. So take your breastbone up, eyes up. Don't tip your head back. Reach your eyes and your nose up. Open your arms to a wide V. Stretch it. Simple, but feels good. Excellent. Let the arms float down by your sides. And as the arms go down, tuck the chin to the chest and the head nod. Curl the tailbone forward. Now the knees really bend and soften. Let the arms hang and roll. So maybe you just go hands to the knees because you're okay with the neck and the upper back, but low back, no way. Everybody's going to be different. Maybe you can go all the way down. When you get to wherever you're stopped, pause, relax. And to get into those legs, to get into the rest of it, we are going to, once again, press the feet into the floor and away from each other. So get that little bit of engagement. It's not a lot, it's very slight. And then take the tailbone up towards the sky. And it doesn't matter if you are hands on the knees or hands on the floor, somewhere in the middle. Just take those legs to where you feel a lengthening in them. And then soften right there, wherever that may be in that forward fold, whatever your forward fold looks like. Beautiful. Let the head hang. Excellent. Bend the knees and soften. Take the tailbone forward, re-engage the core, lifting up on that pelvic floor. So the deep core line has to help us roll up. Roll yourself up. And again, you can walk your hands up just like I did. And roll those shoulder blades back. Take a deep breath in. And let it go. So when I was first teaching this, I actually had everybody just go down to a chair to get used to rolling down and rolling up. So that's a great way to start practicing, is just to go to a chair, straighten, right at the chair, and then take it back up. I love the chair. I love to use the chair. So don't ever feel like, oh, I can't use the chair. No, that is not true. It's a great, great tool. Okay, you are going to actually, everybody come to the top of your mat so that you can step back. Because some people were at the top, some people are at the back. It just makes it easier. Okay, energize those legs again. So you're going to press out, step your right foot back. So you're coming into a lunge. So for better balance, you could always widen your feet from left to right, widen it. Okay, that'll help. And just make sure that the angle of that back leg is comfortable for you, hip, knee, ankle. Okay. Our focus is going to be on this front leg. And we're going to just keep it right in a triangle pose. We do a lot of energetic moving and rocking when we do this in the morning class. We are not going to do that. What we are going to do, though, is we are going to pull the legs as if you're kind of pulling together. Keep everything chest forward. I keep turning towards you because I want to see you, but your chest is going to go towards the top of your mat, the short end of your mat. You're going to kick your hips back. So this is where the pull comes. You're going to pull the hips back. You can even keep hands at the hips for now. And feel that, just that. You should feel that tension all the way up the back of that leg. And if you're like me, I'm locking my knee. Try to stop locking your knee, soften. And then when you get to where your natural end is, round, soften, let the head drop, let everything drop. You can take your hands to wherever you want into a nice pyramid pose. Take a deep breath in and let it go. Excellent. Bring yourself slowly up. You're going to take and turn that back foot out, either pivot on the heel and turn the toes out. But I still want it comfortable. So you don't want it past 90 degrees, or even maybe 90 degrees is a little bit too much, but open it up for your triangle so that the hips are open. Okay. Bring myself back. I'm twisted here. So this is for our spiral line, and it can tell you a lot about your spiral line. Triangle does, because it'll show you lots of abnormalities in people's rib cages. So what we are going to do, we're going to do this in my fascial kind of way. I want you to lunge, a little bit different. We're going to take it straight, but we're going to lunge. You're going to take the left hand is forward, take your left hand down to that left knee. You are going to begin to press the foot and begin to lift up. So first we're working on the leg, and straighten that front leg. So eventually both legs end up somewhat straight. Okay, so that's portion one. We're going to add to it. So lunge back in. Take that top hand, that right hand that I wasn't doing anything with. You're actually going to reach down, which I know makes no sense for triangle, but we're going to make it make sense. I want you to imagine you're grabbing a pulley. You're going to pull up. So the leg straightens, the arm pulls up. You're going to pull up. Take the elbow up towards the sky. Reach up. Arm goes up. We haven't went into it. So both legs are straight here. Well, somewhat straight. If you can straighten your legs, you might not be able to. Are you noticing that you're already rounding forward? I can feel a little bit in myself. I have a tight area back there pulling me forward, but just notice and take a look. Can you turn your head to look up towards the sky? Make your shoulder feel better. All right. Now, what I want you to do is stay in the same plane and slide your hand down the leg. As soon as you start to round that chest towards the floor, you've gone too far, because that again is your spiral line. As you go down, it might be your hip joint stopping you. It might be, again, this spiral line rounding you and pulling your rib cage down towards the floor. And that's why if you've had a hard time with triangle, it's the spiral line that yanks you and rounds you down. Slide yourself up, and you can press off that front foot. Excellent. It's tiring to hold them, isn't it? Okay, let's step forward. Let's try the other side, see if it's the same or different. Step left foot back, and right foot is forward. And we're going to start in pyramid pose. And again, we want to energize the legs. So I want you to pull, chest is towards the top of your mat. Kick your hips back, because that automatically does the pull. You can feel the pull in your hamstrings. Kick the hips back and then hinge from the hips and take yourself forward. So that's why I had your hands down here before, because I wanted you to feel that. I'm locking my knee again. Stop. Don't lock your knee. And you can keep your hands at the hips, or you can take your hands down to your leg, wherever you feel most comfortable. And again, when you feel like, okay, my body told me to stop, like there's that pull, that tension, relax right there. Just let your body drape down. So you kind of went to the end of that length of the muscle and the fascial connection, that myofascial length. You soften into it and it'll let you drop more. Excellent. Soften into that front knee and slowly walk yourself up. Okay. Now, if that back foot isn't open, you can open it up a little more or see how that hip feels. And now we're going to play around with this triangle. Just do it a little differently. So let's start with that bent knee. Right hand on the right knee. And I like to do this to keep you in that plane so that you're not already rounding forward. Hand on the knee, everything in this nice straight line to start with. And then we're going to take it down. We're going to reach it down. Grab, pull. So use your core, pull up, push that foot, and reach up. So try to make a straight line from one hand to the other hand. And look, take a look. Say, can I make a nice straight line here? Okay, it doesn't have to be ultimately perfect. You're trying. but you're turning your head too. Remember, the neck is involved here, turning your head. And as long as your chest is nice and open, and it might not be, you might not be able to move. This might be it for you. But if it is, see if you can go down. And maybe you're getting stuck in the pelvis. Maybe it's that rib cage. What I see a lot in class is rib cages. I see a lot of rib cage twisting, or again, they get stuck in the hips. And breathe, don't hold your breath. So triangle's a great way to help you with spiral line that is this twisting. I have so many more, but I was trying to give you a good basic. Leg with them. Okay, bring yourself up. Step together. Deep breath in. Let it go. Okay, we're gonna make it easy. Side bending, okay? Lateral line, that's what I didn't show, lateral line. I knew there was something missing. That's why I said I brought that so that I could keep track and I wouldn't miss a line. Lateral line, the lateral line goes down our side body and it holds the front and the back together. It's really important for posture. So we're gonna side bend. At least I remembered my sequence of my class in my head. So this lateral line is so cool. So I do have to say this, because the lateral line, yes, you might think it just goes here, but it actually looks and it crosses like lattice all through the rib cage. It is the most intricate. It is very, very cool looking. So none of the other fascial lines look like that. They just kind of look like that with that sacs, like these sacs that go around each muscle, but this one actually looks just like lattice going all up and down your rib cage, literally holding front and back together and keeping us upright. We're going to do some nice side bending. So bring your arms up and lengthen up. And we'll open up to a T for our arm lines. Take the left arm down, reach the right arm up, and really reach that left arm down. Okay, lift up through the pelvic floor. So zip that core up, lift up, and right arm down the other side. So relax here. Okay, we have to engage, lift up through that central core line and relax down. Up and down. Up. And this time, bring your arms down. I'm going to add the ipsilateral line, which is the one I kind of have to make up. So curtsy lunge, which we do every day, right? So you're going to take this left leg and step it back behind at a diagonal. Okay. And we're going to side bend. So we're going to, again, do the same arm. You got it. Beautiful. So you're going to take this left arm up, right arm goes down. It is hard balance. Excellent. And down. So in class, I'd normally make this flow. So let's do that. Bring the arms forward, step forward into chair. So for chair, again, energize it. Push the feet away from each other. Active legs, chair pose, zip that Deep core line up. And then you just shift to the left foot, step the right foot back. Left arm goes down, right arm goes up. And it's awkward because knees are bent too. So this is a movement we've been practicing. Okay, bring both arms forward, step forward to chair pose. And zip it up. It's actually easier to do fast than it is slow, to be honest with you. Okay, so again, you're lengthening up. So think of this core as an actual corset. I have a girdle on, so I'm not rounding. I'm not going forward. I'm zipped up, just pulled in. Excellent. We are going to go back down. So take your hands down, take your belly down. Slowly bring yourself down, and you're going to go to your belly. So you are good right there. You can just bring yourself forward onto your belly. So one of my favorite things to do. So we're going to do some arm lines right here. You're going to see my right arm. So I want to do my right arm. Take your right arm out to the side. Actually, I'll flip around this way so you can see. Go. Trying to get my feet under there without knocking everything over. Okay, right arm. We are going to keep this shoulder down. Left palm is down, and turn your head. Sorry, went the wrong direction, to the left, because we're trying to stretch this front arm line. So you're going to push the left hand into the floor and press the left shoulder up. Subhash, use the wall. Yeah, it'll work great. If you move your chair at the wall right in front of you, and I'll get up in a second and I'll actually show you. There you go, so that your arm can be out along the wall. So can you feel that stretch along your right arm, everybody? It looks like you got it. Perfect. Yeah, I'll show you guys how to do it against the wall too. And then switch, come on down, turn your head, take the left arm out, right palm down. Push that right palm into the floor, right shoulder up, left arm stays down to stretch through that entire hand and arm. And come back to center. Relax down. Flip myself around here. And slowly press yourself up. And come to sit. So afterwards, I'll show you guys how to do that on the wall, because you can do that on the wall. We are going to sit, have one leg. Well, let's start with right. One leg up and one leg down, because you're going to take your left hand and you're just going to take it over and across. So this is the back arm line. We just did the front arm line laying on the floor. We're doing the back arm line. Okay. So what we're going to do is you're going to press. So this one is complete myofascial release. All right. Complete. So that everybody can do this and everybody can easily see. So you're feeling it all the way back through here. We're going to push up. And you're going to pull down. And relax. So you should be able to feel that all the way through the shoulder blade. Bring it up. So this is pushing up this way. So push up into the hand. Now the right hand wins. It's like tug of war. This is the way I like to think of it. Tug of war, right hand wins. So you peel through. Relax, bring it up. Press up. And push down. Relax. Other one. So this is how we do it in the 7 o'clock class. Switch. So just have your left leg up. Bring the right hand around. Press up. Feel that engagement. So you need to feel the muscles. And then let the left hand win. Pull down. Relax, lift up. Press back of the hand up towards the ceiling. Hold, pull down. Relax, come up, push up. Pull down. And relax. Excellent. Okay. One last pose. And again, I chose this to end with. So for those of you seated, you can do this seated. It'd be hard in the chair. We'll figure that out, Subhash, in a second. You can do it. You just have to. So slowly first, take yourself down. And you all have blankets, pillows. So if you want something to support your neck, you're going to have hands at the back of your thighs, round your spine, and roll yourself down one vertebra at a time. And then set your feet down. Like I said, you can support the head and the neck if you want, but nothing big, nothing big. And you will see why. Allow both knees to fall open and bring the bottoms of your feet together in bound angle. So to start with, I want to work on the lower portion of this deep core line. So it goes from the arches of your feet all the way up your inner leg to your pelvic floor, your entire abdominal cavity right up. So we're going to add the breath and we're going to actually do a little energy movement with this. Okay. So you're going to engage everything. So your knees can even go and move a little bit. They don't have to, but I want you to lift the pelvic floor. The pelvic floor is like a trampoline. Lift it, engage the belly, lift up on the diaphragm. So everything lifts up and then relax. Let everything soften. So it's like you're giving yourself an internal massage here. Okay, so we're going to engage, tighten all those muscles, lift up on the pelvic floor, core wraps all the way around like you just tighten that girdle, diaphragm lifts up into the lungs, relax, soften. Let's do that again. Everything engages inner thighs, pelvic floor lifts, diaphragm lifts, and relax. One more. Everything. Engage. Lift that pelvic floor. Lift that diaphragm. So it's use your brain to just tighten and relax. Let everything soften here in your reclined bound angle. Take a deep breath in and let it go. And then bring your knees up towards the ceiling, feet flat to the floor, and allow your knees to flop together. Take both hands, wrap them across your chest. Give yourself a hug. Adjust your shoulders. And then gently release the arms, and you can stay like this, or you can stretch your legs out. You can sit, whatever is most comfortable for you to rest and relax. Take a deep breath in and let it go. And one more deep breath in. Let it go. Relax your feet, legs, and tips. Relax your low back, mid back, and upper back. Relax your shoulders, arms, and hands. Soften your belly, chest, and throat. Relax your neck muscles, scalp, and face. Allow the entire body to soften and melt. There's absolutely nothing to do here. Just take these words in. Let the experiences of the past be like the powerful wake that propels your boat forward into the vast and limitless ocean of new discovery. Let wisdom be the sails that guide you, and let your heart's desire be the wind that moves you over the sea. Take a deep breath in. Let it go. Wiggle your toes and fingers, gently waking the body. Roll to your favorite side. Slowly come up to sit. Shanti. Infinite peace, many blessings to each and every single one of you. And have a fabulous, fabulous evening, everybody. Namaste. Thank you.
Excellent. Thanks, Audrey.
You are